All right. Howdy, 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 everybody. We're live here on another Thursday. Time for another hour and a half of modeling mayhem here on the Modeling with Mike channel. And today, got a lot to do even before I get into my spiel, so I'm going to get right to it. Uh, Number one, the poll results from last week. We asked which kind of paints are better for beginners, acrylic or enamel. Acrylic had 67% of the vote, and enamel had 33% of the vote. So, about the way I expected it to go. Now, before I go into my spiel, I have two exciting things coming to the channel that I want to let you know about. Number one, I mentioned it last week that I have been in talks with Gallery Airbrush Company off and on throughout the summer and the fall. And this week, the talks have increased quite a bit, and we're very close. We're practically there to having a collaboration. So I am very close to collaborating with Gallery, and I would like to have after this zero build series, I will like to have a series of um, reviews of different gallery products. So hopefully that's something you could look forward to, and that's one thing I wanted to let you know about. Another thing is I decided starting today on the channel, we're going to start the holiday group build. There's a number of things on this. Number one, all levels of experience are welcome to join. Number two, you can build anything, any scale. This is going to be a very laid back, this is a holiday build, very laid back. So, what I want you to do is if you're starting a build and you want to enter it into the group build, even if it's for another group build, I don't care. You can enter it into this one. Send a picture of your unbuilt kit with the little sign on the side that says holiday build and the date that you're sending it, and you send it to the email address at my channel homepage. Okay, that'll be in my channel description on my channel homepage. I'm not going to say the email out live just in case there's, any hackers out there maybe watching. So you know how to get to that. Just go to my homepage, the Modeling with Mike homepage, go to the About section. The email address is there. So send a picture of your unbuilt kit, sign that says holiday build and the date you're sending it. And then you have from today until December 15th to enter as many builds as you want. But they all have to start after today or today and after. Okay, so December 15th is the last day you can send a completed picture in. All completed pictures go to that same email address on my channel homepage. And here is the special thing I'm going to do. Unless you tell me different in your email when you send your completed build to me, picture your completed build, I will show all builds on a special video airing on Christmas Day. And that's why I'm stopping it on the 15th, so I can have time to put everything together in a video form and upload it and have it ready for Christmas. That day, you and your family can watch everybody who's your fellow watchers of my channel. You can see all their builds in your builds. And like I said, if you don't want your build in the video, let me know in your entry picture email. So that is the holiday group build. If you have any more questions on it, just let me know in the comments, and we'll discuss it more later in the live stream. Moosey wants down. So let's get into today's topic. So we've all opened a kit and thought, what the hell does this step mean? Well, let's talk about whether model kit instructions need to evolve. Now, instructions can make or break a build. How? Well, if you have unclear instructions, you're just flying by the seat of the pants and you're asking for frustration after frustration after frustration, and it's going to be a total mess. And especially for beginners, your enthusiasm for everything is going to fly right out the window and just go to hell. And beginners can say bye-bye to the hobby if that happens. And clear instructions can reduce frustration and improve results, especially if you're working on a budget. Some common problems with model kit instructions. You have tiny, unclear diagrams. If you want to have a good build, you need to know where this part goes, where that part goes. You can have missing paint callouts or color confusion. Poor part numbering or alignment guidance. That is a big one. Because I've said it before in one of my videos that you get one part misaligned, every other part that follows it is going to be misaligned. Unclear subassembly steps. Here's a big one, multilingual clutter or mistranslations. These are big and could be big in Hasegawa, Great Wall, a lot of your Oriental. And SMER is a good one for that. And let's take a look at the other side. Are modelers the problem too? Well, experience level and expectations play a role. Some modelers prefer minimal instructions for creative freedom. Some need to have every step marked out for them, especially beginners. It's all about being successful in the end. How about some industry trends and possible improvements? Some of the modern advancements are digital instruction PDFs, QR codes linking to videos, color 3D exploded diagrams, community-sourced instruction correction. And better instructions can save money, actually. Fewer mistakes equals less wasted paint, parts, and time, which saves money. It's easier for beginners to get into the hobby without extra purchases. Okay, so that's my spiel. I went over pretty quickly because of my announcements, but we can have a nice discussion about it. Let's open it to the chat here. Stephen Kessel, my lawn, my friend. Jan, evening. Stephen Kessel says they need instructions for the 3D engines. All righty. Hello, Michael. How you doing? Michael says, are the instructions in English or Chinglish? Yes. No, I never had a problem. Well, let me ask the rest of y'all. What's the most confusing instruction sheet you've ever dealt with? Let me know that. I think I'm about getting ready to get into mine on this Bristol Bulldog model. I'm ready to start. As these things, oh God. These things sort of hit on everything I discussed here. Stephen says, many of them. Care to elaborate? Lucy, calm down. Yeah, this Bristol Bulldog, it's going to be kind of a pain. Jan, old Airfix, but Revell weren't too clear neither. The new colored ones are way better. I agree. The Airfix colored ones where they show where the part you just put in is at, those are great. Uberjarchy Fisherman, how you doing, buddy? Metal Earth models. I'm in the middle of building Deadpool. Yeah, they can be confusing. And I find myself on those Metal Earth kits I get the symbols mixed up on the tabs, whether they're to bend them or twist them. And I constantly have to go back to that legend at the front of the instructions. Steven says, I'm sure you had bad instructions. Yeah. Hey, Bernard, how you doing? I just sort of wish there could be one standard set of instructions throughout the industry. You know, get rid of this explosive view bull crap. You know, those are crap. So, what do you think, Bernard? Do instructions need to improve? Model instructions? What do you think? Jan says Edward has great instructions. Wingnut wings are also good. Yeah, it's too bad wingnut wings aren't made anymore. Those were great kits, but you paid for them, but you got what you paid for with those things. Very true. Bernard says regarding the topic, I remember old instructions were very text heavy and almost explained and named each part. You learned a lot reading them. Today they're like Lego, mostly just pictures. I agree. Oh, the old instructions, yeah. What all I ask for instructions, tell me what the part is, what the number is, what color it's painted, and or if it's up to me, and where it goes. Simple. Where it goes and how it goes. And please don't be putting step in front of the other where it doesn't go to where you're blocking a part, you know. I mean, Jan says text instructions way before my time. I've done. I'll show you this completed kit. This is just got completed this past week. My yeah, there it is. My Mary Arctica ship has all the cargo on and got my two flags up every there. And so this came with both solid text and pictures, and it was still confusing. Bernard says mostly they're still okay, but I often would like to see more before after pictures, especially for tricky assemblies. Yes. So I know what it's supposed to look like when it's done. Amen, Bernard. Hit the nail right on the head. That's what one thing I don't like about Exploded View. They don't show anything. They'll point to a general area, and then it's up to you to figure it out. you know. Screw the dude. He got a brain, he can figure it out. What the hell? Okay, so let's go back to the start of the live stream. I just want to know if everybody heard about the group build. Just let me know in the chat if you heard about the group build. I'm going to leave after the live stream's over, I'm going to leave a post with all the rules on it in the post area, the community tab, I guess it'd be, or posts. Same place you find the poll at the every week at the end of the live stream. And yeah, I'm going to put the poll up too. So, but I'm really looking forward to this group build. And having a video on Christmas Day with all your builds on it. Yeah, that's all it's going to be, too. Just nothing but your builds, and it'll be my Christmas present from the channel to you guys. Bernard says, did not get details on the group build. We'll look for your notes when you post them. Okay. Jan says, might join the GB, but not sure. Way busy at the moment. Close to 50-hour work weeks. Yeah. It's really laid back, Jan. So what if you want to build something real simple and shoot it off to me in a email? Hey, I'll show it. I think probably my entries are going to be pretty simple builds just because of the fact that, you know, got work with the channel going on and, this build series coming up, this collaboration with galleries coming up, and that's going to start taking up some of my time or some more of my time. So, yeah, know exactly where you're coming from. And I'm retired. So, let me hit you guys with another question. What brands have the best and worst instructions in your experience? I think mine there's two companies that have the worst. That's A Model and Smur. This Smur kit I'm getting ready to do has just two exploded view pictures, and that's it. That's all the instructions are. And A Model was just, oh wow. I struggled with that from the start to the finish. That I-16, that was nasty. And to me, probably the best are probably, I like Tamiya. I like there's Revell does some good instructions. Tamiya, Airfix, ICM. Hasegawa is good too. Jan says, I don't like DE. What's DE? Jan also says Tamiya and Hasegawa instructions. I agree. Bernard says, Smur. I just sold one out of my stash. Was happy to hear I'm not missing much after hearing you ask us to wish you luck on your current bill. Yeah, yeah. I mean, oh Lord, I'm looking forward to it. Yeah. Thank God I got this zero kit I'm building at the same time to just sort of even things out, keep me from falling over the edge, as far as insanity goes. Jan says, my preferred instructions, Edward, Airfix, and Arma Hobby. Obiarchy Fisherman says, so far I'm liking Tamiya and Edward. And there's some good companies in there for instructions. Yeah, very good. Oh, let's see. Here's another question for you guys to ponder. What's one set of wait, hold it. Yeah. Let me try this again. Oh, Bernard says, I'm just getting back in, so it's hard for me to judge instructions, as I've only built AMT, Airfix, and Academy, and some classic monogram. Yeah, and all those have pretty good instructions with them. But here is another question for y'all. What's one instructions mistake that completely threw off your build? Time for you to tell your horror stories. Going to give you time here to type in your horror stories. This should be good. I know I've had a couple of them that billboards. Chet. Hey y'all, I'm late. Was painting spoons. Hey, everybody's got to do something, right, Chet? Bernard says, I got an old ICM missile truck kit where parts didn't fit, and some parts looked like similar, but slightly different parts. That was more of a poor kit design than bad instructions, though. True. But horror story nonetheless. Jan says, don't have those mistakes. Then again, I study the instructions very well and make notes. There you go. Obiarchy Fisherman says, I've got more mistakes I could blame on myself instead of the instructions. True. Chet says, hate painting spoons, but was testing Kaleido paints first. Oh, for my review. Okay. Looking forward to seeing that. You missed the big announcement, Chet. I might be joining you as part of I probably will be joining you as part of the gallery family. I'm very close to finalizing a little cooperative venture with them. Bernard says, I have noticed in some of the kits, parts are mislabeled, so you have to pay attention. Absolutely correct. Billboards. Oh, Chet says, what kind of horror stories? And cool. Well, here, I asked the question, Chet. What's one instructions mistake that completely threw off your build? That's the horror stories I'm looking for. And also, Chet, I'll catch you up on the other announcement I made. Starting today, I'm starting the holiday group build on the channel. You can build anything you want, any scale. It's going to be really laid back. You have until now until December 15th, and send a picture of your unbuilt kit with a sign that says holiday group build and the date you're sending it. Send it to my email that is on my homepage to the channel. I'm not going to call out the email out here live, for hackers, And then send a picture of the completed model to the same email before December 15th. And all the builds, I'm going to put on a special video that'll be released on Christmas Day. And if you don't want your picture in the video, say so on your email that you send me. I'll leave a post with all these things on it after the live stream. Jan says Dragon Sherman was fun. Took a week to make sense of the instructions. So many mistakes. Yeah, there you go. I mean, some of these manufacturers are great. Some of them, it looks like a second grader did the instructions. Oh yeah, Chet, I subscribed to your channel last week. Good videos. Yeah, you guys all want to see good building on cars, go to Chet's channel, Billboards Builds. Does excellent work. Chet says, I build cars as a former mechanic. Don't use instructions except for a reference. A lot of times they can be inaccurate. Usually go look at other build content if I find an issue. Yeah. Well, you got to that point probably, Chet, where he says, I saw that. Thanks. Okay. No problem. Jan says, what's the link? Oh, you're talking to Chet? Go for it painting. Hello, first timer, I do believe. Welcome. The subject for today is, do you think instructions need to change across the industry? The question that's up right now is, what's one instructions mistake that completely threw off your build? So go for it. If you have anything to say on that, go for it. Bernard says, not so much a horror story, but one of the car kits that started didn't have any painting guidelines. It just said, look at the box. LOL. Hey, that's the way I did a lot of my cars, painting them. Would just look at the box, and the rest of it was the way I wanted to do it. So, out of this world models and minis. How you doing, John? I've had many instructions from Games Workshop that didn't make sense until the next page. There you go. Yeah, I've had those. I've had stuff like that before. You got to look ahead a step or two or three to see actually how it fits in there and how it works. And that's crap. They need to show you right then and there. I don't really like to fiddle with my instructions while I'm building. By the way, John, I subscribed to your channel too last week. Another good channel. Chet says, I am building a Revell 1971 John Greenwood Sebring Corvette. It shows installing the inner fenders, then the hood later, but you need the hood in place before you install the inner fenders. There you go. John says, thank you, sir. You're very welcome. You earned it. I don't just give out subscriptions just to give them out. And if any of you like Go For It or Jan or anybody else has a YouTube channel, put it in the comments after we're done here, and I'll look up your channel and get a good look at it. More than likely, I'll subscribe. So, put your channel in the chat, and not in the chat because I'm going to forget. That's what happened. That's why I only subscribed to Chet and John last week, because I forgot everybody else what their channel was. So if you would, and you want me to check out your channel, put it in the comments after this is done. And I'll definitely check it out. Because you guys have backed me since the first day of the year. And it's only right that I back you up too. Can't be one way. Jan says, Games Workshop instructions are crap indeed. Never did one. I take it they are Warhammer type things. Chet says, Bernard sounds like AMT or MPC. Most car kits don't have paint guidelines unless it's Revell, Hasegawa, or Tamiya. True. I haven't seen many. Not on AMT. And that's basically the ones I usually do. Bernard says it was AMT indeed. Yep. Most of my car kits are AMT or Monogram. And they are basically guideline-less. Jan says Games Workshop is Warhammer. Yeah. I haven't done Warhammer stuff. I don't know if many people get into Warhammer around here. A lot of people around here are into the card game stuff like Pokemon and Magic the Gathering and stuff like that. Bernard says, I was dreading AMT because I recalled they were terrible back when I was a kid, but the ones I've worked with since returning to the hobby this year have been okay. Yeah, AMT isn't bad. I mean, I mean, the build series that just got done with the Corvette ZR1 was kind of rough, but that was an older kit. Uh, that was made back in 89, 90. It was a very old kit. And it had missing parts. So, but the instructions were all right. I mean, they, to a point. Obiarchy Fisherman says, I've painted many an army from Warhammer for my son. Oh, son's big into Warhammer. Damn, guys. You realize we're almost 45 minutes into this thing? Wow. Well, since we're 45 minutes into this, I got to do my weekly midstream notice of what's coming up on the channel. So I'll do that right now. Tomorrow morning, 8:30, the review of this bad boy right here, the Hasegawa A6M2A0 Fighter Type 1, 148 scale. Do the usual review. Take a look at the plastic, the decals, the instructions, la-di-da. And then Tuesday at 8:30, we'll go into part 1, which will be, let's see, going to be the cockpit and the fuselage. And next Friday is going to be part 2, which will be the engine and the wings. So let's see. Go For It Painting says, hi, out of this world money models and minis. Jan says, Warhammer is fun, not good instructions, build and paint. Go For It says, hi to Chet. He says, hi all, Go For It. Out of This World says, I am Warhammer 40K and got my son addicted to it. He paints and plays when the Air Force isn't keeping him busy. Cool. Chet says, PSA, if using extra thin CA glue, be very careful and keep fingers away. My thumb still hurts from yesterday. I had glued it to the package deck on the body. Probably left a few layers of skin on the body. Oh, man. I feel for you, bud. Chet says, hi, painting. Obayarki says, flash a warbird and you have my attention. Bernard says, I understand AMT went through ownership changes. Did they now? Newer tool kits are apparently good. However, they're still boxing lots of toolings from the 50s and 60s. Well, that's cool. That's good because 50s and 60s, that's the height of the muscle car era. I love muscle cars. Out of This World says, keep that CA debonder close. Yes. I would say so. Yes, sir. Uh, how about another question for y'all? Here's one. I probably know the answer from you guys already, but have you ever had to rely on YouTube or forums to figure out a step on your instructions? I haven't. I've usually been able to figure them out. Might take me a couple minutes, but oh yeah, Chet. I wanted to ask you, what in the hell is going on with your Giants, man? They're actually got a quarterback and they're actually winning some games. What the hell's going on? Jan says with Warhammer, yeah. Okay. Bernard says the Giants were fun to watch last weekend for sure. That Thursday night game. Wow. And you got a running back. Oh my God. That Scatterboo kid. Oh, he's going to hurt some people. Jackson Dart, he's the flavor of the week right now. Very impressed. Very impressed. Took them long enough to do something right in the front office, but hey, give credit where credit's due. And I'm also surprised as hell how Daniel Jones is doing in Indy. Oh my God, that guy's just flinging it. Out of this world says, gotta go, but keep up the great work. Us smaller channels need to stick it out. Amen, John. Amen. Will do. I'm not going anywhere. Things are starting to happen. Why would I go anywhere? Chet says the offensive line is finally starting to gel. The defense is stepping up with Carter, and they are lowering the scataboom on the other team. Lowering the scataboom. I like that. He's a hell of a running back, dude. I'm telling you. He keeps it up and just improves. He could. He could be great. That's for sure. I mean, he could be as good as that other one they had way back when. Oh, what was his name? Yeah, could be another Tiki Barber if he keeps improving. I'm not saying he is, but but Tiki Tiki was different. He sort of ran around people and did the moves. Scatabo just would rather run over you. That's the kind of running back I love. So let's go back to the question that I asked. Have you ever had to rely on YouTube or forums to figure out a step and instructions? Saquon who? Yeah, Saquon who. Notice I said wasn't going to become another Saquon Barkley. I said another Tiki Barber. But, I mean, Saquon's showing now what kind of running back he is now that he has an offensive line in front of him. Same with Daniel Jones. He's got an offensive line in front of him and a kind of a quarterback whisperer for a coach. And he's kicking butt. So let's hear from you. Have you ever had to rely on YouTube or forums to figure out a step on instructions? If I don't hear nothing, I'll move on to the next question, which will be, do you like simple exploded view instructions or do you want full color detailed guides? I want full color detailed guides. I hate exploded view. I despise exploded view. Chet says Daniel Jones always showed glimpses of being good, but was hit too many times and believe he got shell shocked behind the O line. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Because if you remember right, when he first came in, he started out like a ball of fire and then he just got gun shy is what he did. Now he just flinging it all over the place. Which was a pleasant surprise for yours truly. Bernard, back on topic. Bernard says, I've not yet gone to YouTube for specific builds, but I have for techniques. Also, I like to watch videos on other modeler reviews and opinions on kits and brands. Yeah, I when I first started doing paper kits and metal earth kits, I went straight to YouTube. Scatterboo is more like Brandon Jacobs with Bavaro's tenacity and Shocky's attitude. Yeah, there you go. Perfect. I don't know about tonight's game, though. Got Pittsburgh and Cincinnati. Okay. Chet says, I occasionally look for other videos if something isn't going right to see how it goes. Yeah, me too. Me too. I mean, if I can't figure it out myself, I'll go straight to YouTube. Bernard says tonight's game is for the old guys, Rogers and Flacco. Yeah. Obiarki says definitely gone to YouTube for Metal Earth kits. That's what I did when I first started. I didn't even touch a kit. I had it on order, had it in, well, I got it and I put it in my stash and I watched YouTube for a day or two. Jan says YouTube is ASMR when building. Elaborate, please. What is ASMR? Unless your fingers got in the way of. I don't know what ASMR is. Obayaki Fisherman. Ha 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 ha. Chet says, I'm currently got a Mobius gasser I'm building, and the instructions have a section of color photos of the built model and says to study the picture as to things go. Okay. Okay. Don't understand that last part, but okay. So, Jan, what is ASMR? And Jet, what is elite things? Chet says, what is the combined age of the two quarterbacks for tonight's game? 150? No, it's more. Oh, okay. ASMR, autonomous sensory meridian response. Okay, I've heard of that. Yeah. I've seen, oh, where things go. Okay. Okay. All that makes sense now. Yeah, that ASMR, I've heard YouTube gurus talk about ASMR videos, just nothing but, various sounds and stuff. Bernard says the modeling acronym I've heard is SCML, Stash Exceeds Maximum Life. There you go. ASMR on YouTube, TikTok, etc. Girls whispering, etc. Yeah. Just various sounds and yeah. Sounds like interesting stuff to me. An hour already. Jan says, not my thing, but I can't stand silence. True, true. It's like earlier this summer, went on eBay and bought myself a top down, stand for my camera so I can get top down shots. Got that for myself for Christmas. And for some reason, the company sent me a whole bunch of like white noise machines and all that crap. And I'm like, what's this? Okay, whatever. I mean, guess I'm supposed to turn it on when I go to bed or something. I just pop a pill. I'm fine. Here's a good question. I'm getting better with my questions here. If you could redesign how instructions are made, what would you change first? I would I would make explosive view against the law, make it illegal. Make it punishable by death. Death penalty for explosive view instructions. Bernard says, oh, regarding instructions, I've done 2 Bandai kits and they were pretty good. Very good build fit quality, too. Yes, Bandai kits. I forgot all about them. They are very good. Very good fit, very good instructions. Show you exactly where they go. But Bernard, tell me, if you could redesign instructions, what would you change first? That's for the rest of y'all out there in YouTube land. If you could redesign how instructions are made, what would you change first? And I would institute a law that says death penalty for explosive view instructions. Moosey agrees with me. Come here, buddy. Come here. Dinkus, come here. Moosey. Okay. Okay. If you don't like, okay. Chet says make better, more accurate drawings. Bingo, that's the main thing right there that I have a problem with on instructions. More accurate drawings. And death penalty for explosive view. He made an explosive view instructions. Give him the chair. Wow. Another excellent live stream, guys, so far. Bernard says, I'd like to see more pictures for detail, and if they didn't want to have to include color plates for painting guides, then maybe include a separate booklet for that. I'd even keep those. That's a good idea. That's a very good idea, Bernard. Chet says they also installed the roof wrong and the ram chamber under the hood in the wrong place, plus tons of glove all over the body underneath. Wow. Wow. That's some major mistakes there. I'd almost give him the death penalty for that. And Bernard, you know what you do with that idea? You get the email address to one of the top companies, whatever you like, send them that idea. See what happens. Maybe something good, for you can happen from that, I mean, hell, that's basically how this thing with gallery got started with me. I was just doing a video on, budget airbrushes, and I wanted to use some screenshots of pictures on companies' websites, so I had to send off emails to these companies getting their permission. And Gallery came back and said, sure, use ours. By the way, if you're interested in doing collaboration with us, let us know. So I did. No, one thing after another, and we're practically there. So you never know. So send them an email, Bernard, with that idea. Bernard says, if the companies want to save money, how do you feel about them moving the instructions to digital? I don't like that personally, but if it chopped a few dollars off the price, some modelers might. True. But, well, yeah, it could chop a couple bucks off the price. I mean, you won't have to pay for having the instructions printed. My question is, if they go to digital, maybe you can use a tablet or something to get them on. Or I've done that before. I've had to use instructions off of ScaleMates before because the instructions didn't come with the kit that I ordered off the Fleabay, and had to go on ScaleMates and get the instructions off of there. And I just have this stand here that I use when all I was using was my little 10-inch tablet at the start of the channel earlier this year. This is what I did my live streams on. So I've done that. Yeah, it would work. Chet says if you build a 3D printed engine, depending on who you get it from, there are no instructions. VCG started including an exploded view with their engines. You need prior knowledge or reference pics of one-to-one engines. Jeez. Wow. Remind me not to get a 3D printed engine because I'm never. I mean, I basically know how they work and where parts go. Chet says, Bernard, at what the charge, they don't need to save money. Bernard says, billboards, yes, you got that right. Still charging us the hobby tax for molds designed in 1958. Yeah. Well, guys, we got about 15 minutes left already. Wow. So I'll ask you the last question of the day. Do you think bad instructions discourage new modelers from staying in the hobby? I myself don't think that's true. I think a lot of them are smart enough to figure their way around it. And if they're really gung ho about being in the hobby, they're going to stay in it. Billboard says, love 3D engines, MCV on their website. They do have reference pictures of some engines as well as Iceman and the Josh VCG. Joel Iceman and Matt MVC will help with any questions. Cool. How much does a 3D engine kit cost, Chet? Bernard says, I think bad instructions can be a challenge, but if they're close enough, modelers can figure it out. True. And today they can get lots of help at clubs or on social media. Very true again. Another reason why they wouldn't discourage new modelers from staying in. Well, I'll tell you, sure, this hasn't been a bad discussion today. Oh, wait, here's another question for you, even better. And Bernard hit on it. Would you pay a dollar or two more for color or digital instructions? I would. Heck yeah, I would. Anything to improve the experience. I'm all for it. What say you all? La dee 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 dee. Do 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 do. Chat says instructions, instructions. We don't need no stinking destructions. We don't need no stinking distractions. Bernard says a dollar or two, yes, maybe have enough in the print version to build and have supplemental materials online. True. I pay a dollar or two extra if it improves the instructions, you know, but you shouldn't have to pay a dollar or two for color or digital. I mean, maybe digital. Those guys who program that stuff are charge out the butt. I know that. Wow. Coming to about 10 minutes left already. Jeez, oh Pete. These live streams are getting faster and faster every week, guys. It just shows you how much better the chat's getting and how much more fun it is. Because when I started this thing, they were lasting 20 minutes, a half hour at the most, and that was like an hour and a half there just trying to get through that. Chet says the only time I really rely on the instructions if the kit is not something I am really not familiar with, non-car or foreign car. Yeah, I can see that. I absolutely can see that because I've done the same thing. I have been in the same boat. Yeah, yeah. Bernard says, a while back, I remember Revell, I think, tried to do a kit that came with the CD. You could use the program to guide you in building, but it was not successful. Today, using web could be different. Yeah, true. Because number one, back in the day, you had to have something to put the CD in, like handy, like a computer, and you had to build there. Chet says, even with the instructions in my first Hasegawa eggplane, for the eggplane build, my wings are on the wrong sides. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That's one funky looking plane. How the hell do you do that, Chet? Let me just ask you, Chet, was alcohol involved in this? Just kidding. Bernard says, so is that a broken egg? Yep. Oh, Lord. I love Thursdays. Okay, I'm about 3.5 minutes here. I'm going to start putting a bow on this thing because I want to make sure I cover everything that I covered in the front of the live streams for you guys that came in late. Yeah. Chet says Johann Kitts had a single one-sided page for instructions. Revell as a booklet. True. Oh, this Smir thing that I'm getting ready to build, that's just one page that folds out and yeah. But we'll see. We'll see. Wow. Yeah, it's last call for chat. 2 minutes. I'm going to start putting a bow on this. Anybody have any final things to say? I think this has been a very good discussion. And I think this is the first live stream where we stayed on topic pretty much the whole time. Chet says there are very few new car kits. Most are repops, even when it says retooled. Yeah. True. Unfortunately, true. All right. So another excellent chat, gentlemen. Let me start. Last chat that I'll read here. Bernard says one last horror story. Zvezda IL-2 kit has an update to an earlier printing, but the manual doesn't explain you have to shave down some gun ports on the wings to install the updated 30 millimeter cannons. Isn't that lovely? Very nice of them. All right, guys. So let me go over what I stated in the front of the live stream. Gonna start a collaborative effort with Gallery. So look for sometime after the Zero build series, look for a series of gallery reviews on the channel. And don't forget about the group build. I'm going to leave a post immediately after the live stream. You can build anything, any subject, any scale. This is laid back. This is a holiday group build. Send a picture of your unbuilt kit. Has to be started today or after. Your last day to send your completed kits in is December 15th. So in order to be entered, just send a picture of your unbuilt kit with the sign that says holiday group build and the date that you took this picture. Send it to the email address on my channel homepage. And when you're done with the model, send a picture of the completed model to the same email address. All levels of experience are welcome. Beginners, advanced, intermediate, doesn't matter. If you build a model, feel free to enter it, because this is not a contest. This is just a show. And all the builds, unless you say so differently on your email to me, will be shown on a special video airing on Christmas Day. Chet says I'm a beginner. You're also full of shit, Chet. And like I said, if you don't want your build in the video, let me know in your entry picture email. So I'll leave a post explaining all that along with the weekly poll. Yeah, your eyes are brown. You're so full of shit. And all right, real quick, I'm gonna tell you what's coming up on the channel tomorrow at 8:30. Review of this bad boy, the Hasegawa 148 A6M2A0 fighter. And then, so don't miss that if you like reviews. Tuesday, it's going to be the first part of the build. We're going to do the cockpit and the fuselage. And next Friday, I'm going to do part 2, which will be the engine and the wing assembly. And if we have time, I might throw in the cowling too. So that's what's coming up on the channel, as well as another live stream next week. So don't forget about if you're watching this after the fact, don't forget about the Facebook group, the Frugal Scale Modeler. I'll leave a link to that, or there's links to that in any of my recent videos in the video description. And you could go to the Homepage, answer 3 questions, membership questions, agree to the group rules. Once I take a look at that, I'll send you a message saying that you're in and you can start posting. So that's that. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, all that. Later, Chet. Have a good week. And uh, yeah, that's all I have for this one. So, you all know what we always say around here, never stop pushing your modeling boundaries. Until tomorrow at 8:30. Bye bye.